It's 1:37 p.m., July 16, 2026. The CHamoru Land Trust Board regular monthly meeting is in session.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the CHamoru Land Trust Commission regular board meeting for July 16, 2026, here at the CLTC conference room, suite 223 of the ITC building in Tamuning. Public comments may be made by emailing cltc.admin@cltc.guam.gov. To view the meeting virtually, please log on to the GovGuam Live YouTube channel or via Google Meet. The meeting link is posted on the CLTC website. We will now take the attendance of the commission. Please say present when your name is called. Chairman, Mr. Earl Garrido.
Present.
Commissioner Fabril Respicio.
Present.
Commissioner Jeremy Rojas.
Present.
Commissioner Annie McPeace.
Present.
We also want to recognize the Acting Administrative Director, Ms. Angela Camacho.
Present.
Okay. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you. First thing on the agenda, I guess, is we'll do the interface. We'll have the innovation invocation. Itatamame ni gagaw gilangin at Zuda istina komisyon para te comprende desisyon mo para istina inetno ni CHamoru Land Trust. Na klaro para ta disiri para imenolekta. At Zuda gusto sana para imenagap itatatang. Muna muna entulo maganiti dyan itatong niya. Si Diyos protean, si Diyos bendisyan, viva sana, viva CLTC, viva Guaham, sana maasi. Thank you. You can sit now.
Mr. Chair, just going to read the open government. In accordance with the 5 UCA Chapter 8 Open Government Law, this meeting and the agenda have been published in the Guam Daily Post on July 9th and July 17th, and is also posted in the Guam Public Notice Portal and the CHamoru Land Trust Commission website. Just some house rules. Please note, 3 minutes maximum for each speaker. We also remind our viewers also that closed captioning are available on our YouTube channel. Thank you.
Half a day as we come together today, I humbly ask that we let the Lord guide us in our service to Guam and the CHamoru Land Trust Commission. My commitment to protecting and defending the culture and the beliefs of Guam is unwavering. We must be honest with ourselves. We are behind. The challenges we face are steep, but by coming together as one unified body, we can advance and fulfill our mission to serve the people of Guam. It is common knowledge that the CLTC has endured many obstacles. While we cannot undo the past, we can absolutely choose to focus on decisive, corrective measures now for the good of our community. We must work cohesively to overcome the significant backlogs before us. I believe regular in-person meetings will expedite our process and help us achieve real progress. Currently, more than 7,000 constituents are waiting for leases. This is a backlog we cannot accept any longer. We need to implement a new monitoring and tracking system, and we need a commitment to frequent meetings so we can cut down on these delays quickly and for good. We cannot allow past mistakes to be repeated. The number of constituents still awaiting their leases reflects poorly on prior management. But I'm absolutely confident in our board and our management and our staff's shared dedication to CLTC's mission. I also want to thank our legal counsel, Norman Miller, whose decisive guidance has been invaluable. With this dynamic team, we can and we will reach our goals. The Land Trust Board is sometimes called to make hard choices. These are not always popular, especially with special interest groups. But we have a duty. Our responsibility is to the entire people of Guam and to the law. Our mission is to help our island's people achieve home ownership and self-sustainability, offering everyone the chance to realize the American dream. For special interest group wanting to partner with us, I invite your support and remind you pursue your goals in ways that respect the CHamoru Land Trust mandate and supports our mission. We serve the people of Guam. That is our focus and nothing should distract from it. Many awaiting constituents have passed away and now we support their heirs. The marathon meetings of the past reflect the complexity of the work, yet with new legislation at our disposal and our continued cooperation, I am confident we can clear the backlog and reduce the wait times and streamline our meetings moving forward. Our main challenge is processing residential, agricultural, and commercial leases. Though daunting, we can and must make progress always consistent with our legal and ethical responsibilities. At this point, I would like to reiterate certain points from my previous remarks. To the members of the Guam Motorsports Association, I address you directly. The CHamoru Land Trust Commission has set clear terms to safeguard Guam's future. It is imperative that we finalize your lease promptly, based on professional appraisal and no less than 10% of the property value, just as we do with every commercial lease. Let's move forward quickly, fairly, and with the community's best interest in mind. In closing, success depends on teamwork, dedication, and diligence. This is my objective and my promise. Let us live the NFRC pledge, uphold our responsibilities, and create a brighter future for Guam through the CLTC. Si Diyos maasi. Now, I would like to bring forward in the agenda our
Old business,
Lot
Mr. Chair.
440-4 and Lot 440-5 municipality of Mauricio, because the Director of Land Management, we have him on Zoom, and he's presently off island, so we'll start with that.
Okay. Okay. Dexter.
Transfer.
Transfer.
For item, old business, item agenda, letter C, lot 440-4 and lot 440-5, municipality of Mauricio. That's formerly known as the Transworld Pacific. We received, we were sent a copy of the letter dated June 30, 2026. It's on the commissioner's packet. Addressed to Mr. Nathan Aguirre. He's the interim station director of the Transworld Radio Pacific. So I'm just gonna go ahead and read it. Mr. Aguirre, thank you for the turnover of keys and construction documents relative to Transworld Pacific. Amended lease agreement recorded in the Department of Land Management, DLM, under document number 746771, and the memorandum of understanding between DLM and TWR dated 10 December 2025 and signed on February 16, 2026. DLM hereby confirms the transfer and acceptance of lots 440-4 and 440-5 and associated infrastructure from TWR, having met all their responsibilities under number 4, roles and responsibilities, and 4.1 TWR responsibilities, and said lease agreement expiring by operations. This is signed by Mr. Joseph M. Borja, Director of the Department of Land Management.
So, Mr. Chairman, prior to the expiration of the lease, which was June 30, 2026, there was a team of us, including Glenn, myself, and Damien. I don't believe Dexter was with us when we went there to, just to inspect the place prior to the end of the lease. We confirmed that the one tower that was requested to remain is still there. There are some solar panels that have since, a few have been destroyed by the typhoon. There's their office building, a warehouse building.
They're still intact.
Yeah, still intact, as well as,
The
Some-
containers, the two containers, the warehouse building and the administrative building, it's all intact, no damages, just the solar panels.
yes, we're still, it's still in the custody of DLM, yes, land management. And so we have Mr. Borja here, I believe you had questions for him?
Mr. Borja?
Mr. Borja?
Yes, ma'am, right here.
So can we get an update on the Trans World? We have received the letter that you sent to Mr. Aguirre, that you received keys and
Blueprints.
blueprints and things. I guess the chairman would like to address the status of the transfer?
Yes, we have drafted the draft for the transfer of jurisdiction has been completed. We've given your staff a copy of it, and we'll probably be sending it out this week. It is going to be signed by the governor. It's an agency-to-agency basic transfer of property. It's not a certificate of title, it's a transfer of administrative jurisdiction.
Anything else, Mr. Chair?
How much of a timeline do you need to do the actual transfer? Just the 1 week?
How much of a timeline? It just
Timeline.
depends on the return from the governor. Once we send the communications down to it, we've been delayed a little bit. We had a little bit of a storm here recently. So we will be sending that. But the staff there has a copy of the draft. The commission would like to look at it. I'm sure the staff can avail to that. It has not yet been sent down to the governor. We had the storm interrupt us in our communications by correspondence, by letter correspondence, but we should be sending it out probably tomorrow, Friday.
Thank you, Mr. Borja. And where are you at presently?
Actually, I'm at home. I'm not at the beach actually, so.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's not
Don't
Hawaii
let
behind
it,
you, huh?
don't let it throw you off. My clothes are still hanging from the dryer. I'm actually at home on that, like that. And then since you have this on the agenda, the lot 440-4 and 440-5, what you guys are getting, and guys, what the commission is getting is you're getting a return of the land with something on it, which is basically what you wanted left based on your staff in there. I am limited, and the governor is also limited in providing resources to anything CHamoru Land Trust without a request from the CHamoru Land Trust specifically. And you'll find that in the law, you'll find that in statute that the department and the governor just doesn't say, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that with your assets, so we're prohibited from that. Land management is merely a transfer. We're go through from a lease that was, I don't know, about 40 years old back then. Processes were different back then. Owners were different back then of certain properties. Zoning of properties back then were different than what they are now. So, the commission would be well intended to get a little bit more information about the area over there and what area you have, beyond you. And I'm just providing information. I'm not saying, do this and do that, because your staff has asked for information. But however, recently I noticed that you picked up a planner two, a very capable guy who can provide all this information a commission needs in terms of reuse and in terms of planning to be able to make a decision as to what this property should be reused by the new owners, which is the commission, because that lease that was terminated by operation is, I believe, like, I don't know, 1970s or something like that. So the conditions in that area, on the island, in the area, are totally different from when that lease was signed, and like I said, I noticed that the land trust picked up a planner too. So you're gonna have all the information you need from him for planning purposes, rezoning, reuse, size of the property, graphics, aerial photographs of what that property looked like, 30, 40 years ago, The area is Zone A, whatever that means. Landowners always want to use their properties for something else, And land trust being the landowner, if there's any rezoning that needs to be done or requested, of course, that would be an application by the commission to make it. Now, you've had a rezoning application that was approved. It was a residential application rezone up in Chico, right across the gym, where the commission intended to create, I believe, 90 or 120 residential lots. You've got infrastructure all around you over there. You've got road frontage like that. You have like police stations and sewer lines and like that, And that's your track 10123. That's basically ready for your use. So the commission has staff that is capable of processing a rezoning application. A rezoning application, if that's what the commission selects. It's also around, the property is also around a conservation area. The mountain I believe behind it is Mount Schrader. I don't know who Mr. Schrader is. But it's the area that receives a lot of rainfall in that area. And you also have behind you I believe it's a GTA or a GPP booster radio station or something, communication station right behind you, on that. So you've got your staff that can quite capable to get all this information to you. You've got staff quite capable of rezoning it if you want to rezoning it. You've got staff quite capable of reading maps in that area. And this is kind of like something that the commission, something new to the commission, a large tract of land down south. Because most of your CHamoru Land Trust, the property that we will be giving to you guys have that huge tract there, but we have some property that will be transferred to the CHamoru Land Trust, and these are the land for the landless lots in there. These are residential lots, and they're all around you down there. So, get staff to take a look and see what you've got in your neighborhood, in your community down there, and you can all get it. They're very capable of getting that information to you. This is kind of like a blank canvas for the CHamoru Land Trust. Thank you. Open for questions.
Any questions for Mr. Bora? Mr. Bora, thank you. You have a nice shirt on.
Yes, thank you very much. Just trying to add some background, blend in the background, and I kind of disappear for a while.
Okay. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Ms. Roja, thank you. And then prior to the meeting, Mr. Chairman, Glenn handed over some photos that were taken after the typhoon body. So we do see some solar panel on the ground I think that was the extent of the damages.
Did you secure the panels when you went down there? Did you secure any damages, or did you just leave them?
So you have two photos, one, two locations. Location number one is in front of the administrative building. We lost over 7 panels. Prior to that, 2 weeks before that, 3 was stolen by theft. And then there's the second location is in the rear of the building. There were 3 panels that were missing. Again, we're not sure either it was from Typhoon Bobby or if it was by theft. But those solar panels are fenced up with a 6-foot fence within the perimeter. And we were looking for any panels, solar panels that was probably blown away. We weren't able to find any solar panels.
So we don't, for now, because it's still under land management, it hasn't been transferred, we don't, go to the property on our own. We're usually accompanied by, somebody from DLM, and until it's transferred, I think we're just being cautious about, anything that we do.
I was just wondering if you secured the panels that are on the ground so we could use them for future use, or did you just leave them as is, they could be trampled on by?
Those,
We don't have the right to do that, I don't know.
the solar panels, the area are all fenced up.
No, but, so the
but
ones on the ground,
we-
they're asking,
We haven't removed it yet in event, just in case we want to go up there and see another site visit, see it, the commissioners want to see.
So it's there currently?
It's still there, yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
as is shown in the photo?
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
Were they damaged beyond use? Or could you see if it was?
There were several damage beyond use, and there were, majority is usable.
The usable majority that you're speaking of are still attached to the frame.
They're not attached, but based on the solar panel itself, it's not being cracked or any within the solar. There were like 2 that were cracked, and I turned it over just to see any damages, and, well, just maybe 2 or 3 that was damaged. You can't go back, you can't use it.
The ones that were stolen, did we do a police report?
There was a police report done by
oh, it was
Transworld.
at the time, Transworld was still leasing it.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
At the
okay.
time it was stolen.
Okay.
It's like 2 weeks prior to them handing over the keys to us.
Any other questions pertaining to transfer? Okay, if there's no other questions, we'll go back to the agenda and start in the order that we should have began with. So approval of minutes, June 26, 2026, the regular board meeting of CLTC.
Chairman, I motion to approve the minutes from June 25th, 2026.
The motion has been made to approve the minutes. Is there a second to the motion?
Can I second subject to one correction?
Sure.
So as I recall, in an introduction to staff on page 2, Alvin was introduced as an abstractor.
That's correct.
So we just need to change the instructor to abstractor.
Where is that?
It's on page 2.
That
Oh, introduction staff,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
That was the only thing I
Oh,
found.
Abstract, not instructor.
Correct.
So motion has been made and second with a correction. All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Since there is no opposition, the motion passes. Next on the item is the Administrator's Director's Report.
Thank you.
Administrative Director's Report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Super Typhoon Bobby update. The office has designated Damian Narcis, who represented us as our RAC coordinator. He's the liaison for CLTC with Guam Homeland Security Office of Civil Defense. He's responsible for coordinating emergency operations, relay agency updates, manage resources, request and handle crisis communications. I guess before I came in, we didn't have a RAC representative, so fortunately, that was done before Bobby hit. And Damien was able to give staff the JIC updates. Dexter Tan is the initial damage assessment coordinator. He's responsible for conducting a timely and coordinated initial damage assessments to document disaster-related impacts under the agency's jurisdiction. The office responded to the Office of Recovery Office mandatory reporting of damages. This letter is to confirm no damages or adverse impacts during Typhoon Bobby to the premise, equipment, or operations of CLTC. Although we did have some water damage in the office, it was reported to our property managers for the building, and that was tended to right away. It's an ongoing issue that they're having with the third floor parking and the rear side of our office. Oka Point, Glenn EA, Land Agent Supervisor, took the initiative to visit the site on the first day Oka Point opened to receive green waste and construction debris only. DPW, Guam EPA, and GPD are the coordinating agencies, similar to the what was arranged during post-Typhoon Sinlaku. We do not observe as many trucks and things bringing debris as we did during Sinlaku, perhaps because most of the green waste and white goods and things have already been disposed of. Sinlaku was a short 3 months ago, right? So fortunately, the bulk of material doesn't appear to be as much. Guam Waterworks Authority, myself and Planner 2, Tom Torres, met with Guam Waterworks right-of-way supervisor, Ms. Bobby Cruz, regarding pending water well maps. This is ongoing. This is an ongoing discussion to ensure that the areas have no assigned leases that will displace or affect any buddy on these properties. So we will continue the meetings and move as cautiously as possible. Bill number 266-38. This is the fiscal year 2027 budget appropriation. Our office has been in communication with the Office of Finance and Budget regarding proposed adjustments to the cuts of CLTC Operation Fund and Survey and Infrastructure Fund. This will affect our ability to proceed with hiring to fill key positions, as well as securing funding needed to boost our office staff. While this staff is critical in anticipation of upcoming projects aimed at addressing the pending processing of applications, award leases, and managing commercial leases to generate additional funding sources for CLTC. So we're a little bit concerned about this. They're still discussing the budget, and hopefully we get the support that we're asking. Residential and agriculture. This is the application list based on date and time. The board approved 200, the next 200 in line. 50 are ready for mail out, 50 applications are in the review process, and 100 are pending review.
When you say ready for mail out, what does that mean, mail out what?
The noticing, them that it's their date and time.
Oh, to them, okay.
Noticing notifying the applicants of their date and time.
Could-
So in addition to, go
Could,
ahead.
could I get you to just go back to item number C,
Sure,
the pending water well pumps?
sure.
Now, there's a circumference of 1,000 square feet around each pump, correct?
That's my understanding. But, you know, best to bring into this conversation is our planner, who has been involved since he was up at DLM. So if you don't
Yes,
mind.
please.
Yeah. And he was the one initiating this meeting, because apparently there are drawings that have been upstairs for quite some time, and they just want to move it forward. But before we approve anything, I just want to make sure that we're moving cautiously and know what we're getting ourselves into. Tom, they have questions about our meeting with GWA.
Okay.
Introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, my name is Thomas Torres, Planner 2 for CLTC.
So he and I attended the meeting.
You're the person mentioned by Mr. Boer.
Oh, so yeah.
I was gonna say sorry to him, but anyhow, the situation with the water wells,
Right.
is that a 1,000 foot radius, or is that a,
From what I understand, it's a 1,000 foot radius.
radius? How would that affect our residential?
That I have no idea. If there's a, what you call it, a client on there or a constituent, then that's something we have to visit with GWA and work out with as far as, because that, if it's already signed, deemed assigned, that individual would have to work something out with GWA as to what other mitigations can be done on their behalf.
Yeah. I can
Especially if
under- I
that
can un-
client's already had a survey done to it
Yeah,
and paid for all that.
I can understand we taking a strict position with commercial, but we need to know how much leeway we have for residential.
When you
Because-
say leeway, sir, in regards to,
That 1,000
Okay.
foot radius, if we already have people,
That's why we asked to suspend the meeting until we can check our
well,
inventory.
I'm just bringing it,
Yeah,
I'm bringing it up to your attention so that you can address that in your
next
forthcoming meetings.
there's already an understanding upstairs within our management that there is a buffer around the wells. Now, there's constituents on that property, I have no idea, and how is that gonna affect them, which I have no idea. And what does the commission or the department do in regards to that? And I guess that would be with GWA and CLTC to come up with some type of
Yeah, that's,
solution.
Has GWA made any, like, any kind of mention that they want those properties vacated?
We weren't there. They basically came with the maps, and we looked at the maps. And then my question to the staff was, what is the impact to us? Is there anybody holding a lease on any of this property? Because I will not move forward until I'm clear on how this will impact lessees and CLTC, and what GWA is willing to do for this transfer, right? It'll ultimately be transferred to GWA.
now, does that requirement also apply to their sewer pumps?
I'm not sure, but I would think it would apply to all their sewer pumps, if it applies to their water wells. That, you're
Can
talking
we-
about
can
the
we get-
radius,
Can we get clarification from
Sure.
GW on that, please?
Sure.
On both issues,
okay?
so we can know where we stand.
But I do know for a fact there is a constituent that they have a well there, that they, actually GWA did the survey to parcel out their well, but at the end, the constituent is less than what he was authorized, from what I understand. And that's one of those maps that are in our hands right now.
So are they saying that every well that's on CHamoru Lantra's property must have a 1,000 foot radius?
Yes,
Yeah.
a buffer.
Everywhere.
Where, everywhere,
Wow.
because of especially farmlands, right? The
Chemicals.
pesticide can seep into the
Sure,
well,
right,
so
right,
that's,
right.
that's the buffer protection.
So is GWA, because they have that, they've identified that, square footage, are they actually going out there and earmarking like where the 1,000 feet?
That I
They
haven't-
brought the
no,
maps,
I don't-
isn't that the
Only
maps? that you-
because, you know, for.
They didn't delineate a
Yeah.
radius on the
But,
maps.
So was that brought up, are they going to, I mean, are they gonna physically do that? Because for our constituents, if they have property, how would they know where they're, you know, where they should stop and where they?
Right.
So that's a question for your next meeting, you know, if they could actually do that for the benefit of the surrounding properties.
Well, I'm confident that since you're you're in a new home now, that you will look out for the best interests of CLTC.
Sir, I'm always looking out for the best interest of the government, regardless of where I'm at.
Yeah.
That's what I get paid to do.
But now you have a
correct?
new home, so
Oh, yeah.
we're number
Okay.
one, okay?
All right,
Thank you.
sure. That's it? Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, GICC, Tina Tainatongo, our administrative officer, has received responses from 2 appraisal companies, Cornerstone Valuation and Milo Appraisals regarding lot number 10122-12 Dedido, also known as Guam International Country Club. The appraisers raised several concerns or several questions on our letter to them, which are currently addressing with the assistance of legal counsel, DAG Lee Miller. We will keep the board updated as we work to resolve these inquiries.
What are the inquiries? Do we have a copy of that?
I can provide that to the
Yeah, please. Just because, you know, I wanna work expeditiously on the appraisals. You've already given, you know, I guess, I don't know if it's the authority for the ADB to go ahead and move forward, and I think this is already like our 3rd meeting that we're still talking about the appraisal, which means it's already been more than 60 days.
I did also wanna ask, you know, I see that we have responses from 2, but, if I recall correctly in the law, it stated that the appraisal was supposed to be independent of one of the, appraisal that was done by GACC. And, I believe Cornerstone may have been the one who did the first one, so, would that not,
So we're, I guess we just gave both. There are only 2 appraisers that can do this
Right.
type of appraisal, right? And I guess it's up to CLTC to choose which,
Oh.
right? And so we just gave it to both of them. We gave them both the same inquiry, so that, but we haven't heard back from Cornerstone, is my understanding.
okay.
So I know there's back and forths with Milo.
So when did Milo first bring up their questions? Because I've never, prior to this meeting, there wasn't any correspondence to
In
the board members that there were questions on our inquiries.
So in our last meeting, that was the instruction, correct? To work on the appraisal for GICC.
Not our last meeting, that was the last meeting. So that's, this is what, July, so that was May?
Okay,
Yeah, so,
anyways,
yeah.
we did send the letter out.
Yeah.
I believe it was close to a month ago.
No, I guess my question is, when did Milo respond?
Oh.
Because what
It's
I'm
been back
saying
and
is,
forth.
it's already been 60 days.
Yeah.
So I'm saying it's been 60 days since we gave the instruction to get the appraisal done. And, you know, 6 days later, we're still answering questions. So I want to know, when did Milo respond? I mean, have we been sitting on their questions for 45 days and they were just now, okay.
No.
So I just want to stress the importance that we need to move quickly on this.
It's a priority.
Yes, it needs to be a priority, but, you know, when I look at 60 days, it doesn't seem like it is. So that's why I want to know, what are the questions, if you can forward the questions, because maybe they're questions that we can answer.
We'll share
Yeah,
it with.
thank you.
Yeah.
Now, since we're on the subject of GICC, I notice we have representatives from GICC here. Are you here for this, or are you here for public comment, or?
No, there's,
They're on the agenda.
They're
we're in the agenda for another,
Okay, so we'll get to you later.
I think it's under the same, isn't it? I think.
Yeah,
Old
Yeah,
business.
they're next.
They're next on the.
Yeah, they're up on,
Oh, this is director, okay.
I just have
Yes.
one more question,
sure.
Director Camacho, going back to Administrative Report B. the Oka Point. I know that, you know, Oka Point has long been a standing stage ground for after typhoon debris. So we do have an MOU in place. I just want to,
I need to
yeah, I just want
verify
to
that.
see, I want to make sure that we do have an MOU in place with these agencies that are physically there handling the debris. You know, also, in terms of like liability, should someone be injured, I don't want it to fall on us as the landowner. And then also for cleaning up, you know, make sure that, you know, everything that's there, what is their time frame, their timeline that they're gonna clean it up. And, I mean, I know the last Sinlaco was just 3 months ago, like you said. I mean, I certainly don't expect them to be done with Sinlaco, but now that we have Bobby, you know, I don't want it to be December and we still have Bobby materials there. So if you could provide us with an MOU, and if we don't have one, I think that we need to put something in place, just so that we can also protect our interests.
We'll work on
And,
that.
yeah, and shield our liability.
Mr. Chair, that concludes my report.
Thank you. So now next on the agenda is the old business. The first item on old business is Guam International Country Club.
Mr. Chair, they're present to, yes, please.
Sign in.
Yes, please.
Sign in and introduce yourselves.
Carlos, and then afterwards, can everybody just introduce themselves for the record?
Yeah. You can introduce.
Yes, please.
Mr. Chair, Board of Directors, Acting Director, I'd like to introduce the team here. Again, normally you guys see me in TV, but I'm here virtually now. Still wearing the same hats, I can still look the same. Just joking. But my name is Carlos Camacho. I'm the authorized agent for GICC. And to my right, I'll let them introduce themselves.
Good afternoon, George Valdez, providing legal guidance on some of the issues that might arise this afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Jerry Tang. I'm the secretary for JCC.
Yes.
So, there are a few letters that we received, in the month of July, from, GICC, in particular, Mr. Carlos Camacho, addressed to the chairman. The first one being, July 1st. The subject is extension to commercial lease pursuant to, CLTC resolution number 26-004. Did you want to discuss that?
Well, yeah, on the July 1st submission, I know as Dexter described, you guys had a open government law timeline, and I did not want to miss any potential window to make sure we are included potentially in the agenda. So July 1st is just to request that we will be in the agenda, and if you look at that letter, it says we will be submitting our legal opinion on the extension, and option 1 and option 2 for a potential extension of our lease that was ratified in the previous resolution. So that was the letter, just to trigger that we want to be in the agenda, so we don't miss the open government law window of opportunity. That was that first letter.
And then again, on July 14th, we received a letter, same subject, extension to commercial lease pursuant to CLTC resolution number 2026-004. It is the documents that Mr. Camacho mentions he would send to the board prior to the meeting, so, we have the legal opinion, concerning the extension of Guam International, Country Club, its commercial lease, with the Chamorro Land Trust Commission. So I'm not sure if the commissioners have any questions with regards to that. And that's a letter from, the law office of Louis J. Yanza, PC. And, I guess it was
That's where I'm employed.
written by
Yeah.
George Valdez, I'm sorry.
Oh,
So, you want me to speak on why we submitted that?
Sure.
So, if you look at our July 1 letter, we said we'll be forthcoming our legal opinion and the extended lease agreement that we will be drafting, right? And in that first July 1, we'll say, upon our completion of our legal opinion, we'll be submitting it before your council meeting, which we did on July 14th. That's why that was a follow-up letter from a July 1, so you guys will have that to review. And George can speak on why we did a legal opinion. The only reason we did that was, as we know, Guam is small, everybody is saying left, right, this and that, so we needed a legal opinion to confirm that we are compliant to 17638 that was overwritten on March 27, 2026. It's now codified by law 5128. George can explain that in his legal opinion. And attached to that same letter is option 1, is the extended lease based on the resolution with just the chairman and the director's signature as per the statute within that, which George can explain. Or we place an option 2, which will be conforming with Attorney General Doug Martin's signature and Governor Lou Leongo's signature. So we got 2, so we don't, we want to make sure we don't have to wait till August because we miss another opportunity to open everything within the open public comment, public meeting here. So any questions on the legal opinion? I will defer to Attorney Valdez to answer some of your guys' concern and clarity. So that's the.
So my first question is, according to the resolution 004, this board, we already approved the 3-year extension under the new law. Was it 5128? Okay, or what was it?
528, but George can.
528,
Yeah,
okay.
5128.
528.
Yeah, 5128, 5128. So I guess my question is, I'm not sure why we're not just moving forward and why are we here today discussing a legal opinion? Was this legal opinion requested by anyone from CLTC or the board? And if not, why aren't we just moving forward with what we approved on the resolution? You know, I just feel like all of a sudden we're coming back and we're doing more work. So how did this come about? I'm not even sure
I'll
why
explain that.
this is on the agenda.
Because we did get legal opinion, and there was a letter from, well, I don't even know if you can call it legal opinion,
Okay.
but there was an email from Attorney Miller, and I'll have Dexter talk about that.
Okay. And was that letter shared with CLTC and then this is the response? Or excuse me, GICC and then this is the response,
So
or?
there is the resolution, and then now is the documentation which will
Yeah.
extend the lease, right?
Yes.
So it's an addendum to the lease, or
Yes.
an amendment to the lease. And that's what he's presenting. So there's 2 options that he's giving us. One is for the chairman and myself to sign,
Okay,
and then the second one would be, and it's my suggestion,
yeah,
that the person that signed the initial addendum that changed GICC from a golf course to a
yeah.
solar farm was signed by, I believe, the chairman, the governor, and
The
the
agent.
agent.
Yeah, so we should go that route, okay. So that
That's
I
just my
understand.
opinion.
So,
Uh-huh.
so then why are we talking about a legal opinion? So if we have 2 options presented to us, why aren't we just moving forward with those 2 options? That's my question.
And that's
Okay,
where,
so
yeah.
why aren't we just talking about that? My question is, why do we have an attorney sitting here in front of us? I don't feel competent. Are you an attorney, sir?
Yes.
I don't feel competent.
Our attorney's
being-
not here,
Yeah, quizzed by an attorney without our attorney present. So that's, do you understand my question? These are 2 separate things that they're asking us to do. One, they're asking us to review his legal opinion, which I don't know why he submitted one. Was it asked, did the board ask for a legal opinion? Was it, you know what I
So
mean?
everything is sent to legal for guidance, for our
Okay.
protection, right?
Our legal,
Our
yes,
legal,
okay.
correct.
If I may,
Yeah.
I could
So
probably shed
I
some
just
light.
wanna move forward with the two options, do you
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Because I never saw in my email or anything that said that we needed some kind of a legal opinion or what we're doing is not legal.
So I think
Commissioner,
they
what-
went ahead and just, yeah.
this is probably like a case of like overkill, because, you know, like our position, at least my position, has always been that CLTC has the statutory authority to extend the lease. And then,
Yes.
but there was this, well, internally, there was this conversation about who needs to sign this extension.
Okay,
And then, so we retained George's law office to answer that specific question.
who needs
about-
to sign?
Right,
Yeah.
because,
Okay.
because the previous public law, right? the-
Okay, so that's what the legal opinion is. Cause he
Partially.
said the legal opinion is to
Yes.
determine whether or not we can
I
do the
know.
extension. So
So-
I wanna know, why do we need his legal
I think-
opinion on that?
I don't think
That
it's
should
necessary.
be coming from
I don't
our
think-
AG.
Yeah, so I think what it is, what's that, internally, when we were talking about who needs to sign, then internally, we, you know, like you know how lawyers are, they want a bill, so.
This is not, you're not billing us.
Sorry, they want a bill.
I thought it was
So
going
they
in another
go-
direction.
So they go, hey, you know what, what about this, what about that? I said, okay,
Yeah,
just,
I didn't retain him.
just
Yes.
do it, yeah.
Well, I'll let George explain the authority you guys have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I just, I guess what it is in light of, my question moving forward here to our director is, do we need to entertain this? If we don't need to talk about this legal opinion, because we were never.
I didn't ask for
We
their
didn't
legal
ask for a
opinion.
legal opinion, I never heard anything about what we're doing is not legal. I think we need to move forward with our actions. We made a decision, there is a resolution on the table that was signed. It's already been submitted, what is the next step? The next step is draft the amendment to the lease and have the appropriate parties sign, is that correct?
That's what's
Okay,
before
so
us.
what are we doing? Let's do that, that's it.
before us.
That's all I wanna talk about today. I don't understand why we have to talk about everything else.
Great.
I just feel that, I don't wanna open up the doors to, I have an attorney before me. I don't wanna open up the doors to speak to the, this is,
Without counsel
yeah,
present.
it's a very, without counsel present. I mean,
Right.
sir, please understand that it's very intimidating. You're representing this group and we don't have our counsel present. And you're gonna read your opinion to us, or you're submitting this opinion, so I think that this needs to go to our attorney. But this board is not here to evaluate whether or not your opinion is good or bad,
Understood.
right? So I would like to just move forward with the actions that this board needs to perform. Which is, we've made a resolution, we made a decision, let's make a decision, give it to the Attorney General. If the Attorney General doesn't wanna sign it, he needs to come back and tell us why. Then, sir, I think you can submit your legal opinion. Because at this point, like you said, it may be overkill and, I don't know why we're entertaining that, and I don't wanna open the doors to something legal. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Sure,
I'm protecting myself, this board as well.
sure, and that's why it's
Okay.
always important for our legal counsel to
Be present.
be present as well,
Right.
and despite our numerous requests.
I do have a question though, just hearing the discussion going on, you mentioned something about Attorney Miller having an opinion regarding anything with
There was
Dexter?
an email, and I
Okay.
don't know if Dexter wants to bring that up at
Just
this
to correct,
point.
it's not an opinion, it's
Okay.
just our inquiry from Attorney Miller, so every time we receive, you don't mind me just standing here, because I'm also banning the booth.
Okay,
Okay, but anyway, every time Mr. Carlos Camacho sends an email to the, address to the chairman regarding several items that, he wanted, amendments to the first lease, we send it to Attorney Miller for his review, and then he would respond. Like, prior to discussing the letter that was sent regarding the legal opinion, before that, Attorney Miller already said that, legislature has set the term to 2055 and only authorized the CLTC to extend the term by 2 years, which expires on January 31st, 2057. If the commission did pass such a resolution, which is 2026-004, then it is illegal.
Okay, so,
Because there's no reason for GICC to approach the commission, because the acting administrative director and the chairman has no legal authority to sign the extension he proposes. Now, in response to the legal opinion that Mr. Carlos Camacho emailed us on July 14, for now, according to Attorney Miller, the AG stand, as a legal counsel for CLTC, and his advisement is, his position remains that the legislature is the one that sets the term for the lease, and only the legislature can modify it.
Was that an official legal opinion or just by?
It's advice, legal advice.
now we can ask him, what's the difference between legal advice and legal opinion? Since he
But
is
if
an
I can
attorney.
comment, if I can comment, if you don't mind. Bill number 17638, that was overwritten in March 27, 2026, became Public Law 5128.
Yes.
That is legislatively driven as what they want. It is legislatively driven. If you look at 2 paragraphs only in that paragraph, it says any government agency, right? That's why we presented in our last May 28 meeting. Any government agency could extend the lease as long as they're compliant and in good standings. For the record, I did submit the good standing certification from the government, and for the record, via Zoom, I did debate, yes, our economic seesaws like this, but we never ran away from our debt. We always paid it off to be compliant whenever we bet. The biggest one was the COVID debt, the 900, when everybody thought we will never pay it. When Public Law 3861 happened, historically, we paid it when Mr. Chairman was the board member at that time, because Mr. Camacho, I'll give you 3 months probationary period. As soon as you miss that 3 months, you'll be terminated. I remember that word from word. So from that point, way back, years back, we made every payment as per our commitment on the promissory note or payment plan when she was acting director at that time, before she got, was changed. So we followed everything and we presented that. So that's why compliant is a landlord issue. Are we compliant? We follow every rules of engagement. When 3861 came, because you gotta pay off any arrears within 30 days. We had a check ceremony here. We paid it off as per that law. So we are compliant. We followed everything under new law 5128. That is legislatively driven, as the Attorney General is saying, you need legislative action. So that is legislative action. That's why we submitted that.
So, Mr. Camacho, that is exactly why this board, 2 or 3 board meetings ago, approved Resolution 004 and the extension, because it fell under Law 5128.
That's correct.
And if you look in our resolution, I believe we specifically referenced that law.
That's correct.
So what Mr. Dexter Tan just read, according to him, this is legal advice, but that legal advice does not reference Law 5128, which is what we took, that was our umbrella, that's what the action we took. So I feel like that advice is incomplete.
My question is, I feel like we're in a washing machine. We keep
Yeah, that's what I mean.
going over it.
Yeah.
Could we push it to the Attorney General
Yeah.
and get a final, if?
The way to do this is we have two options on the extension. One is for the chairman and myself to sign, which I'm not comfortable.
Okay.
Let's have the AG and the governor as well, because they signed the amendment to the initial GICC golf course into a solar farm. So they signed that addendum, let's have them sign the extension as well.
So is it?
Yeah.
You just need a motion from us to do that?
Yes, please.
Before you do that, could you request that it be addressed and opined by the Attorney General Douglas Moylan, not Assistant Attorney General? I want it to be done by Douglas Moylan.
I feel like I think what the commissioners are saying is if all the parties sign, what the Administrative Director Camacho is saying is, if the AG's office signs and the governor signs, then by default, they approve it.
Correct.
Right. So there's no
Correct.
real reason to go through extra hoops and stuff like that. Just prepare the extension with with the signature blocks for the governor and for.
Same signature blocks that you used,
Mhm.
in the.
No, but that's what we have as an option too.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
And,
okay.
pardon me, I didn't
Sorry.
mean to interrupt you, but, if Attorney Miller, you know, I mean, if he wants to discuss it with the Attorney General, Douglas Moylan, let him do that. And, you know, I mean, they're two different attorneys and he will be the signer, so if there's some, for some reason, what this board passed was indeed illegal, then I'm sure Attorney General Doug Moylan will let us know.
Just so we stop the repeating
Correct.
cycle of
Just so we get out of the
coming back.
washing machine and finally jump into the dryer.
Yes.
So I have a question then, since we submitted our legal opinion for the record here, and you're gonna be sending that to the AG for his final review, could we ask that our legal opinion be attached to the option 1 and 2, so that he can review our opinion as what was stated here on our findings?
As a supporting document?
I'm gonna ask my attorney if we can do
Well, I think what's important is the opinion is relevant, especially after the advice as it was classified from this Miller, right, without any specific citation to any authority.
Correct.
And I would say you brought up a very good point, Commissioner, that 5128, if you read the text, the first sentence is notwithstanding any other provision of law. So that controls on all commercial leases. And Carlos was correct. There's only 3 requirements. You need a tenant who's occupied for 5 years, check. Number 2, compliant with all provisions of the lease. We argue in our legal opinion, check. And third, the commission has to approve it. That's also checked, as you brought up with the resolution. So our position, and I want to cover all bases in the legal opinion, because we don't know what's gonna come up, especially as what was brought up from Attorney Miller. And so I think what's contained in the legal memo addresses the issue of, number 1, the legality of the extension to the requested December 31st, 2058, as well as a little background of how this current lease came to being from way back, right, because it's very different. Now, I would want to put for the record in terms of who needs to sign, as noted in the legal opinion, so long as the extension is approved by the commission, which it has been, the director and the chairman can sign. However, in an abundance of caution, if the commission feels it would be best to have the governor and the AG sign as well, because they signed the amendment back late last year, of course that would be fine as well, as long as they're willing to sign. And if they sign, that would essentially is approval of the lease extension.
Okay, we need to make a motion.
I was just gonna say, first of all, thank you very much for the transparency. Thank you for your detailed information above and beyond overkill. And I already see, hearing, you know, being the new board member, I'm hearing about public law, I'm hearing about the resolution, and I think that you have abided by everything that's required. We are following through with everything that's required. And for me personally, unfortunately, if my acting director and my chairman don't feel comfortable signing, then there's nothing we can do. But I thought we were here today to sign and go forward because everybody's already done their homework. I thought it was just the closing of the book today, but yeah, apparently there's more things that we need to address and take care of, or more inputs that are coming in. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for your above and beyond and your due diligence and your overkill. So I thought we were just gonna go forward today. I read all the documents, I read everything that the attorney signed, you know, and I did the work that you did, but, okay, so.
In an abundance of caution, though,
Yeah.
I kindly request the commissioners
Yeah.
to consider option number 2.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's for the best protection of the commission.
Commission,
and- Yeah. So the question I have before I make a motion is, in your opinion, is attaching the opinion of GICC council necessary, proper,
But
or,
it's only necessary if we attach the advice of Attorney Miller,
right?
because that sounds like a response to that advice as pointed out by
I
this
just think
attorney.
it's available. I just think that, you know,
We
the work
should.
is done. I don't, personally, and I'm not a lawyer, but I don't see any harm in providing GICC's legal opinion to this.
Yeah. So just know that if this goes up as an attachment, it becomes public document, so.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then do we add?
We're always open transparency.
Do we attach the advice of Attorney Miller? I mean,
It's a legal,
If I may,
Yeah.
this letter has already been forwarded to Attorney Miller, so it's in
What
the.
letter?
The letter that-
The letter that.
yes.
The July
yes,
14th.
no,
Including
his
the-
response, no, Attorney
But-
Miller's
but
response, that's what I'm asking.
We're now considering
His advice.
we're now considering sending the addendum, right, or the extension, I'm sorry. We're now considering sending the extension, which now the question is, does GICC's legal opinion
As an attachment.
go as an attachment or supporting document to that, as to why?
I am against that. I think that it's available. I don't want, because this board is approving based
Based on the public
on
law, right?
the public law, not necessarily on the lessee's legal opinion. That is the reason why I brought up the necessity of the legal opinion to begin with. So if there's an issue with the legality of the item, the things that are performed here at this board level, that should come from our Attorney General, Douglas Moynihan. So, I think that we should move forward, and if the legal opinion is necessary, then at that time, you can submit your legal opinion to Attorney General Douglas Moynihan. Because I just feel like, I don't know, is it gonna open up more things? And, sometimes
Right.
less is better, less is more, that saying?
If I can comment, I think Dexter just said he already sent it to Attorney Miller.
Also,
So the letter has already been sent to Attorney
Oh,
Miller?
to Attorney Miller, but
Including all the attachment that exhibit
Yeah,
A to.
so they got it already.
no, but I'm saying
Yeah,
as an
Right.
attachment to
Attorney
the,
Doug Moynihan,
correct, I am referencing,
Doug Moynihan,
yes,
Attorney Moynihan.
if we need to send that to him as well.
Okay. Since
As
Miller
part
already
of,
got,
as
since Miller
part
already
of
got it,
the,
yeah.
as part of the document that's going to be signed.
I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah.
If Attorney Miller has it already ready, I don't think there's you don't have to send separately to Attorney
Quite
General.
frankly, I don't want to,
Right.
upset our Attorney General, I don't
Right.
want him to think
No, but I
why.
think more so
Yeah,
is,
he
is,
can
Create
make
his
the
own
decision.
opinion.
we
He'll
did
make his
not
own
initiate,
opinion.
we did not initiate
Yeah.
that
Okay.
letter.
Yeah, so, with respect to our Attorney General, I mean,
Right.
he is the Attorney General of Guam. I think that he's competent to make his own legal opinion, and should an argument arise, then I think at that point, the lessees can bring in their legal opinion. I don't wanna offend him, or, you know what I mean?
Commissioner, if I may, I'm sorry, ma'am. I would suggest, since this is part of the discussion, is already in the hands of Attorney Miller, and he's bringing it up to the Attorney General, what the board can do is we can write a formal letter from the board requesting for his review and to give us a response. So it's all in black and white. And I will attach this again
No,
with the letter.
why?
We're
I think-
only, the discussion is whether or not we're going to, A or B. Are we
Yeah.
going to
Right.
sign
Yeah,
it
exactly.
ourselves?
Right.
Or are
Yeah.
we going to engage the signature of the AG and the governor?
I agree, just to keep it
Yeah.
moving. What's that, I think we have proposed, those option one, option two, and option two is in line with what Administrative Director Camacho is saying, which is prepare the extension with the proper signature blocks that makes everybody comfortable, and
Yeah.
then we circulate it for signature.
Well, I have one comment, if you don't mind. I would like option 1 and 2 addressed to the Attorney General, because you never know, he may come back, says, for a matter of time, going through the bureaucratic process, I agree with option 1. Let's say he agrees, then he might just come back, agree option 1, and that's it, only these two signs.
So long as he gives us something
Yeah,
in
at least
writing.
he has
Oh,
two
that's
options
true.
to look at.
That's
So
true.
long as I have something in writing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we're also leaning towards option 2 for the protection of our staff and our board.
Yeah, but the Attorney General, now that you're gonna have him to make that opinion, to say, you can choose 1 or 2. Once he
If we
makes
get
that in
something
writing.
from the AG saying that
It's okay.
it's appropriate for the chairman and myself to sign the extension, then,
You
I'm
feel
okay with
comfortable
that.
with that?
I'm
Okay.
okay with that, so long as it's in writing and
Yeah.
from the AG himself.
If you don't mind, just want that
Yeah.
flexibility.
Okay.
So, okay, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion for, to forward the amendment, is that?
Extension.
Extension of the lease to GICC pursuant to resolution number 2026-004 to the Attorney General of Guam for his opinion of the two options presented by GICC today.
Can you add that, and to move forward with the signatures? I mean, we're gonna give them the option, but whatever the option is, move forward with the signatures.
And to move forward with signatories upon his opinion.
I think that covers it. I second.
A motion has been made and second. We go in for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Since there's no opposition, the motion passes. Congratulations.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Camacho, if you don't mind sitting back,
Okay.
there's the resolution.
Oh, yes, yes, the one from,
number-
was adopted in the June
Yeah.
16 meeting.
Also in your packet, there are two resolutions, but I think they're only necessary to address one of them, which is 26006, because 26007 was basically a letter that they needed and did not need resolution regarding their project structure, ITC compliance, financing, to GICC extension to commercial lease
I'm,
for lot
I'm
one.
fine if it's a resolution, so you already got it prepared based on the adoption. So we don't have to wait for a letter.
We're so overkill here.
Overkill.
Yes. We also
But I'll
have
leave
the
it up to you
letter.
Don't
guys.
use the light today.
I concur, if you, since you guys drafted it based
Yeah,
on,
might as well just,
then just go ahead and,
We're here,
Yep.
it's here.
May I amend that request, if we could address maybe one at a time?
yes,
GICC resolution number 20, I'm sorry, let me start from the beginning. CHamoru Land Trust Commission resolution number 2026-006, Guam International Country Club, 5-acre clubhouse. Those are the 6 points that have already been addressed by the commission. I'm not sure if you wanted me to go over that all again, but now it's in a resolution form for you to consider.
I read through it already, understand it, so, is this something you need a motion to approve? Okay.
Yes, sir. This is regarding the clubhouse, by the way.
Yeah.
That we do have no desire to hold the clubhouse, that we are
Yeah.
giving it to
could I just
GICC.
comment?
And then accept
I
all
just,
responsibility.
oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just want to thank the chairman and the board on the March meeting when this was, or April meeting, when this was adopted. And we did receive a letter as followed on that, but it was our lender that requires a little more solidified document via resolution. That's what we were converting it to. But we appreciate the letter, Mr. Chair, when you signed on April 24th. Thank you for that. Everything's just technical, so that's all it is.
Mr. Chair, a motion to adopt the CHamoru Land Trust Commission Resolution number 2026-006, the Guam International Country Club, 5 acres and clubhouse.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and second. If there are no other discussions on the matter, we go in for a vote.
oh, hold on just a minute, I'm just reviewing. Okay, go ahead, no discussion.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Since there's no opposition to the motion passes. 006 is approved.
Mr. Chair, finally, in regards to GICC, we have CHamoru Land Trust Commission Resolution number 2026-007, which is what we just discussed, lease framework confirming to support project structure, ITC compliance, and financing to Guam International Country Club, extension to commercial lease for lot 101-22-12. And this is also the letter that is prepared for your signature afterwards. So, Mr. Chair, if the board needs, my understanding of this is GICC is not subleasing or anything of that sort. It just allows them to include a US, Carlos, you wanna?
Yeah, that basically, if you remember on our work session, we allowed the flexibility to be compliant with the ITC section 48 of the IRS code. I provided in a meeting, prior, I think May 28 meeting, an opinion which did make it into your board packet, but it was there for the record, as I stated via Zoom. We had an Ernst & Young opinion on the new updated that U.S. corporation and ownership for this tax credit must be complied. So that's why we had to restructure the internal. Again, as we stated, the GICC umbrella is still there. That's not being changed. That umbrella, whatever the liability and responsibility with our agreement stays the same, right, and all that. And then it's just the internal, so we can structure the internal to comply with section 48 on our financing. And then we gave an example from Ernst & Young opinion, and we gave that example from our tax credit investors opinion on May 28th. But that's all that was, just so we can, I wanted to put that for the record at that time. And Commissioner Respicio, I was off island then, and I was trying to be, but I like it when you say, get to the point, right, so I'm getting to the point now.
Thank you, Mr. Camacho, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-007.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and second. Are there any other discussions on the matter? There being none, we go in for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Since there's no opposition, the motion carries. That was 007, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Thank you.
That'll be all for GICC.
Thank you, GICC.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Have your card.
On his card.
Actually, I'll have one delivered to him, so I don't have
Oh,
one on me.
my.
So thank you,
Thank you,
Commissioner.
thank you, Commissioner.
Glenn,
Thank you, thank you.
Dexter, Andy.
Thank you.
Again, I know you guys are tired of us keep coming back, but we always want to put something for the record, that's all. So
Yes.
it's filed, so nobody can say anything.
Hopefully,
Thank you,
we'll
Mr.
hear back from
Camacho.
the,
Yeah, thank you, guys.
yeah, thank you too.
Good luck.
Yeah. One more question, will this resolution be signed today?
Huh?
Will it be
Yes,
signed today?
yes. If it's prepared, it's
Okay, I'll just
prepared.
wait for the, Dexter will send it to me. Thank you, guys.
Before moving on, would the board like to take a 5-minute break?
Sure.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I think we can do
It
that.
is 2:55 PM. The board will recess for 5-10 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Half a day.
It's 3:09 PM, July 16, 2026. This board is back in session. Next on the agenda is the Guam Motorsport Association.
Mr. Chair, I believe we have Hans Ada. Anybody else from Motorsports?
Just me.
Okay, you want to come forward and sign in? So, Mr. Chair, we received a response to the draft lease that we submitted to them. And it was included in their packet, so in case the board has anything to address with Mr. Ada, who's from GME, he's available.
I just have a question, I don't know if it's more, I guess, to you, A.D. Camacho. Under, page 3, item number 2, is this lease accepted by the legislature and governor, or do we go through the same process and it's the AG and the governor?
So there was a bill that already allowed us to negotiate, right, with
Yeah.
GMA. But I believe that the term of that bill had already expired.
Correct.
So, that's a good question,
Yeah.
I think at some point, but rest assured that we have, Attorney Miller,
Okay.
guiding us through this, so I guess at the time that there's a meeting of the minds,
Yeah.
we'll get direction from,
Okay, I just want to make sure we're doing it properly, because we also just had that situation with the prior company that was sitting there.
Have we got any feedback from Attorney Miller on this?
Dexter. Dexter addressed that.
So when GMA, Mr. Hans Ada forwarded their response to the GMA lease, draft lease agreement, Attorney Miller, I seek for his advice. His comment is, the CLTC board will need to address the lease as a final lease instead of moving back and forth. There's gonna be changes, right, for this draft lease agreement that they submitted. They're asking for flexibility on the lease renewal, subleasing, and signage if you when you review the packet. The commission will need to decide at the end of the day who's gonna be in control of the property. Would it be GMA or CLTC? Do we want to operate it from event to event, or we're just gonna be continue controlling in between events? So like if there's any requests or changes on how they wanna operate the property, the board would need to decide based on the draft that they submitted. I think Mr. Hans Ada would be able to explain the content of the
So it's,
draft.
when he's making that advice, is he referring to anything in specific? Because what you just said that.
There's a lot of
things,
changes.
Yeah, come from time to time.
Yes. Because
The signage is, there's a specific section from the signage, but when he's saying things change from, less specific.
Because this lease draft has, we had a couple working sessions already with GMA. It
Mhm.
was already set on the final draft. But during the course of event, there was additional amendments to some section of the draft. So that's the reason why the board should determine what do they want to go back to the original proposed lease draft agreement that was agreed during the working session, which was presented to the board meeting after that.
That, the terms and condition and the coming out of the work session, that was agreed by all parties?
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Chair, I did bring up a change, and that was coming from our deceased chief of police, Steve Ignacio, because they use the raceway for
So,
training.
You wanna speak to a specific section, because, so that way,
But after I had asked Dexter to include that or incorporate that into the lease.
I saw that, so it's
then-
here.
Then they came back and proposed a whole different conditions, and then we went back and met with Attorney Miller and Attorney Rojas, I promoted you.
That's my wife.
Commissioner Rojas and the chairman, and that was the last draft that we sent back, and this is the result, their response to it,
So what we're seeing before us has already gone through the eyes of both yourself and Commissioner Rojas.
We had not discussed this yet.
Not this
Yeah.
draft.
Not
This is
So
it.
this draft is the additional
response.
changes, yeah, okay. But it includes, the things that you had mentioned.
It really morphed after we requested to allow law enforcement to use the property at no charge, right?
Okay.
I mean, I didn't think it was right if the government of Guam is paying lease to motocross for property owned by the government of Guam. And so I was just requesting
We had
that.
no issue with GP or any of
Understood,
those.
understood.
We want them there.
But then discussions on subleasing came up, and then changes to the lease rate came up, and a whole bunch of other things, and I think that now, that was a simple request, and it's my understanding that they didn't have a problem with it, but when that was sent to them, it came back with many changes.
Which
We
is
went
this?
over, no,
Which is
we went
this?
over it with Attorney Miller. We countered it, and this is now their response to it, so.
So we need to go through the changes.
Well,
Your
I think
advice.
the position is do we keep going back and forth? Because they took an opportunity for one request to really change the context of everything. So now the question is do we just revert back to our initial draft that CLTC
So
proposed? I
this
don't
is
know.
what I'm hearing, is that this, what we have before us is in response to changes that you gave to them. This is in response, okay, so you gave them changes, so this is their response. So I think that we need to just work with this working copy, because there's already been certain things that were discussed, and, I think we should just go through it, and, Adi Camacho, if you see something that was snuck in, or, it's not in line with the original, then I think we need to call it out. And we just need to decide, I don't know, Mr. Ada, are you the appropriate party to make that decision as we're going through it now, whether or not it stays or goes?
Yes.
You are? Okay, then, there you go, he's the decision maker.
Can-
So let's go
can I-
through it,
can I
and he can
voice
decide
my-
for GMA.
Can I voice my thoughts on the matter? I think there's too many changes. It spiraled out of control, and this is my thoughts. I think if push comes to shove, we go back to the original agreement, which was agreed to by all parties, where we will not allow law enforcement or public safety to use the property at no cost. That was your project, Mr. Commissioner Rojas. It keeps flip-flopping, and the only real agreements we had was coming out of your work session with your guidance and with your interjections on the initial agreement between the Raceway and CLTC.
Mr.
This,
Chairman.
I see a lot of what they had initially requested from the get-go. So I think instead of moving forward, we're spiraling back down. So maybe we go back to, my opinion again, maybe we go back to what was initially agreed to in the work sessions.
But Mr. Chairman, I think it's clear that they don't have a problem with allowing law enforcement to use it free of charge. Is that not correct?
Correct.
So why don't we just take that, include that verbiage, and then,
Yeah, but I'm looking at all the corrections that they want made,
know.
and that's reverting back to their initial,
understood, but
Didn't-
if we just, no, if we just take what Mr. Rojas had already established and include the verbiage about, law enforcement, government of Guam or federal, using it free of charge.
would you have a problem with that?
Absolutely not.
So why all the changes?
It's not mainly, can I give some context real quick here? So, February was the vote for primarily, we agreed on the escalating rent, 20-year term, and subleasing. Those were like the main things. The issue we had in this last, we received two. One was in April, and then the other one was recently in June from Attorney Miller. The last lease had 15 years instead of 20. And then instead of subleasing, it had temporary licensing, which there's no way.
Issue,
Other departments utilizing the property, we encourage that. Yeah, fire department wants to do.
So
eval-
We're not,
We're not on, where did we draw, where did we draw?
So maybe we just need to recess for a minute?
Did we get the resumption?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, it was going until just a minute, couple minutes ago.
I think we should just go through the redlining and get the.
Repeat what she said.
well, I guess we're gonna take this out.
It's a lot, I mean, what they added to it,
Oh,
all of the.
What they
red-
added or what they,
All the red.
yeah, but what I'm saying is, that's what I'm saying is, well, just like, for example, the second page, if that has nothing to do, their redlining has nothing to do with what we originally agreed to, we just stick with our verbiage. We just go through that, because there's only specific things that we're looking for, right? I think you said, the GPD or usage, the lease term and something. So let's just go and accept our original verbiage and cross out the redlining.
But
Mr.
is
Addis said that he, no?
that verbiage there that was crossed out, that doesn't go back as far as,
Is that the original verbiage?
I really think we need to go back to one more session with Miller, and I kind of agree with the chairman. This is, this can go back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah,
Um,
so that's what I'm saying, is this, so the things that were redlined, are these, was that the original?
No, well, they took the
The
last
red line was
version,
original.
they took the last version from what we worked out with Miller.
Yeah, so this is the last version. So what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, for example, on page 2, we don't have to accept their amendments. We're gonna keep our verbiage and we'll cross out their amendments.
Is that,
That's what I'm saying, because there's only a few things that we specifically wanted changed, and they, like you said, they took the opportunity to just kind of reword other things, and we don't have time to go through their new wording, because we didn't agree on that. We agreed on the original words as stated, so we can just move forward, you know what I mean?
Sorry,
You
when
understand what I'm
I know
saying?
it's a little overwhelming, everything that I read line, they're actually kind of similar. It's just, we had to reword it because there's some things that weren't even applicable to a motorsports facility.
Okay, so
It
then
was more
that,
like a residential lease, or like, I think Attorney Miller might have used a lease draft from maybe something in Australia.
well, I have to disagree with you, because on page 2, everything
This
that's.
is towards the end of rules and regulations.
Yeah, okay, well, I'm just starting with the front. So like on page 2, my point is, I would like to move forward with what's presented to us, and I want to confirm with A.B. Camacho, the items that were redlined, if those were part of the lease agreement that you provided to them, and if they are, we'll just agree that we will keep our verbiage and we will redline theirs. Because there's no reason in page 2 to redline what you've redlined. That's exactly what we want to say.
which is kind of why I'm most comfortable with just going back to pulling out what we sent to them. It was exactly what we discussed. And if they're okay with that, then that's what we have.
So do you have that copy of what you originally sent to
We
them?
do have that copy.
Can we admit that into our, agenda right now?
Yeah, maybe
To
we
discuss
just
it?
pass that, Mr. Chairman.
You know what I mean? Because, I don't wanna miss the
Yes,
opportunity
we
to,
need to see the
to
initial
skip GMA
documents.
again for another month, sir.
Yeah.
I want to kind of like, everybody's
Resolve
been
it
working
today.
so hard on it. You know, if that's your recommendation, AD Camacho, can you just print for us, and then let's work on that?
Which version are we?
The version, the
So-
last version that we sent to them before this.
But if you wanna see the original, it's all just has a red line. So that is the original, the one that we received
So that's what I was
in
asking
June.
him.
Yeah, it's
No,
right
but-
there. With the red text with the line in it, that is the last one we received.
I understood,
June
understood, but,
19th.
understood, but you've also added a bunch of stuff. So if we just go back
Okay,
to,
yeah,
to our document, which is exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Revert back, which is, so if we just take our last document and that, approve that, then.
yeah,
I think
and
that
just focus on the 3 items that you mentioned that you want
Which was
to.
incorporated.
Yeah.
It was incorporated. Subleasing was incorporated.
So since he's talking about that, there is, I mean, since he's.
The EVOC would just need to be incorporated, right?
Which one?
The EVOC at no charge would just need to be incorporated.
What's
We
EVOC?
did that.
But
didn't
the,
we?
Item number 12D?
that's the emergency vehicle operations
Okay.
courses.
When we revised it with Miller, that was there.
It was in, okay.
Where is it? Because
Oh,
I do want to
Dexter's
address
pulling it.
specifically item 12D, because it's something that you guys added.
I think that would be in the section that shows other agencies using it at no cost.
Yeah, that's item 12D.
Yeah.
So my thought there is, I'm so sorry to disagree, I didn't realize that our board or members would want government agencies to use without any cost. I don't agree with that. I think that an MOU, basically, the reason is I want to also protect you as our lessee. We need to protect your revenue source. And if you're going to allow government agencies, GPD, fire department, to use the facility at no charge, that's, you know, for a certain period of time. You have to also consider your wear and tear to your facility. They're gonna use whatever your car strip, your water. How are you gonna recoup that?
But for
And-
me, I don't believe that the government should
I-
pay
I'm
for
not
government
done.
property.
Yeah, so I think that there should be an MOU. So when you have races and everything, do you have to pay for their presence? So like if you have races, you have to schedule with GPD and, the fire department to be present. Do you have to pay for that?
The only thing that GPD or GFD would, the inconvenience would just be if there is a calendar clash.
Yeah, I know,
So
but
if
what
we
I'm
have a
saying,
scheduled event,
you have a scheduled event and they show up. Do you pay for that service?
What she's asking is, you know how like, if there's an
You
event
have a
and,
race.
and GFD's there with an ambulance on site for support, would they charge you for that?
yes.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying, is they're charging you for that service, how are you gonna recoup? So I think that instead of giving that service for free, is I think that there should be an MOU, that if they're gonna use your facility for their training, then at the same time, you know, there has to be a
Reciprocity.
trade-off, yeah, a reciprocity. And you guys have to figure out the dollars and cents, if it costs $500 for them to stand by, I don't know what, you know, you think that you should charge for them to use your training facility. I don't agree
Understood.
that anyone should use the facility for free, because, you know, also as a property owner, there is wear and tear. And what, they're gonna be the one to foot the wear and tear? What if they're training and then they create a hole or whatever, who's gonna fix that?
Understood. I understand.
No, and what is that, what happens, and at the end of the day, it comes back to CLTC as the landowner, because that eats into your cash flow. So I think that instead of giving it for free, there has to be some kind of, you know, MOU agreement. That's just, I don't know how you wanna put that language in there.
We could do something as in like their services, we could do a trade,
In kind
something like
services,
that.
Yeah.
But there was, amongst our group, there was a, it's a community property, and yes, it is a business, even though it's a nonprofit, we still have to generate revenues.
Cause you have to pay us,
But-
you have to pay your landlord,
Correct.
yeah.
But there was specifically with GPD and GFD, there was an exemption made
Yeah,
But
okay,
we
but then-
wouldn't be asking like market rates
No,
from them.
whatever,
But we could do something like there's an
You
exchange.
guys come up with it, I'm just making a suggestion, because they're gonna charge you to be standby. When they come and attend your races and your functions, they're gonna charge you for their presence, right?
Yes.
Okay,
They're also gonna charge you for services that they perform during your activity.
yes. So
Like
why,
if
so
the
when they're
ambulance has to
training,
take
why are you
someone
not
to the
charging
hospital,
them?
They charge for the ambulance ride and stuff like that.
We could,
I'm just, as a
I
protection for the lessee, as a landowner, I do not want to eat into your cash flow, sources.
I
you know.
appreciate that.
I mean, because I don't want you at the end of the day or next month or 5 years, oh, I'm so sorry, we can't pay you because, you know, we don't have enough revenue. Well, you have all these activities going on, why aren't you charging for them?
Correct.
I think law enforcement training is different. That benefits the public, and therefore, we won't agree on this issue.
So, what,
Are they gonna?
can you do me a favor, Mr. Ada, is, kind of look that up and see what other jurisdictions do that have nonprofit organizations, because I know that when you had, the rest of your board members here, I remember there was a Chrysostomo here, and, you know, Mr. Jones, the two Mr. Joneses were here, and they did mention that, you know, in other jurisdictions, they have this kind of agreement with the government where they're also leasing government land. What do they do?
Yeah,
You know, do
you can
they?
model something.
Yeah, and, you know, I think that that would be the right course of action. You know, if other jurisdictions pay, you know, or excuse me, charge the government for training, then why shouldn't we?
Can I say something?
And who are you?
I'm Tina Conker, part of the Guam Motorsports Association, the secretary side.
We're discussing the lease terms.
Yes, so you're asking about GFD and GPD, when we have an event, are they getting paid?
Do they
So
charge,
I did-
do they charge, not getting paid, are they charging GMA for their presence?
So I've been up there running that drag strip side. GFD, we do not pay them. Sometimes if they're available, they will come when we have an event, only when they are available. Sorry, Hans, I have to tap into this. Only when they are available, that's when they're there. For the dragway side, I know for smoking wheels, when we have smoking wheels on the motocross and the motocross and drift side, on that side, there's a private owned medical, like a private owned ambulance that's there.
Faster.
And you
But
guys
that's a
charge
paid service, that's not free.
That's private.
Yeah, it's
Different from
private,
what we're
faster,
talking
private.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
But she's
I'm-
correct, we
I'm
will
leaning
notify
toward-
Jigo Fire Department
I'm
that, hey,
leaning
we're having this event.
towards what Commissioner Respicius alluding to.
Mhm.
I believe the best method is a memorandum of understanding between you and GPD and Fire Department and in-kind services.
I believe it's
That way,
also.
that way it doesn't affect your income ability.
And your expenses.
Mr. Chair, I think this also affects like the bus drivers do training there,
Correct.
DPW school bus drivers, and that kind of thing, so.
Okay, so where do they currently do those kind of trainings and stuff?
They ask us if they can go do it there.
So that's where they're
Relatively
currently
Funding
doing
recently,
request.
GPD did a training
Yeah.
there.
But prior to, you could have said relatively recently, prior to recently, where were they doing that and were they being assessed a fee
At the races.
It was like months ago that they were out there.
They were
They've
doing
been
it.
doing it there for a while.
4 years? Okay.
And I don't think you were charging them then.
We don't have control of the
Yeah.
property.
No, at the time that it was being, I'm sorry, you're right, you weren't.
They've never been in control of the property, it's the prior,
It was a prior, I don't believe there was any
Yeah.
charges to the government. I think that they just, agreed that it's a public benefit, right?
So I just think that, I don't even know why that isn't included in the lease. I mean, I think that
If
you
it
know,
can be
as
done
the
through
lessee,
MOU, we
yeah,
can do it
as a
outside of the lease.
lessee, you determine who you wanna charge, and I don't think that we
Whether,
as the
whether
lessor
it's
should
gonna be an
determine.
actual paid or in-kind services.
Cause in the second
You know,
one,
that
they
would be
say
up to you
can-
guys,
cannot,
because you have, you
you
will,
know,
you should be in control of the property then,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
And, you need their services as much as they need your help.
We do,
yeah,
we do.
so make that a motion and then.
In light of everything we're going through here, I think it may be a better idea to have a final work session with both parties at the table and come to a final agreement and, you know, call it a day once that's done. If the other commissioners find that agreeable.
Is that a motion?
Yeah.
I tend to side with my commissioners, and I think maybe one last work session may be required, and we can iron out what we think we agree to and what we don't agree to in what you submitted here. I don't know.
I apologize, it does look a little overwhelming with all the red lines
Yeah.
and everything. But there was just some significant things that,
Well,
We wanna make sure that says
I
20
don't have
years
a
in there.
problem with that 15 years. In my mind, I thought we were going for the 20 years, okay? So that's minor, as far as I'm concerned.
okay.
But there are some things here that are more of a major concern for me.
Just so I could, you know, have things prepared better for our next session, anything in particular?
I defer to my,
Yeah, because this helps a lot, because I could work, you know, get
So-
feedback here, and it helps.
Yeah, so the next thing I have is on page 3, we're doing, I just wanted to know with the law, the new law, did we just discuss that with GICC? For an addition, to have the right to renew this lease for an additional, is it 20 or 15 years? What does the law give us? Is it 20 or 15? I thought it was only 15. But whatever the law is,
The
that's
law
what we
allows
should
for
follow.
15, that's,
Okay.
Yeah, so then we need to follow that. So instead of 20, so the initial lease is 20, the renewal will be 15, because that's what's allowable by law.
Understood,
So
okay.
which that's what I recommend. I don't know why we have number 2A, any provisions that specifically apply only to the term shall not apply during the renewal term. Why would you do that? I mean, if it's a renewal, you're renewing under the same terms and conditions, that's not, I would strike that out. Because unless you have a specific example as to what you don't want to renew.
I
You know?
really think it's best to go back
Yeah.
to what we had submitted to them.
Oh,
And
well, he
maybe
was just
discuss
asking, he was
changes
just
to
asking,
This helps a lot, just as
just so that
feedback,
he
just
can
makes I get the
look at
idea.
it and he
well,
can go
you
back to
can
his
look at this
people.
as a prelude to your work session.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, so, I can be really quick, there's only 2 other things.
yeah, just some real quick feedback.
Page 9, my question about, you know, about the 45 days to for the lessor to to review any subleases, et cetera. We need to put in some verbiage there, because I'm very concerned about, in the past, this board did not have a quorum, and I don't want things to lapse. You know, I don't want you to say, hey, we've given you guys 45 days to act on this, you didn't act on it, so it's gonna lapse. So there are gonna be, I'm just foreseeing the future, because it's the next 20 years, there may be other times where the board will lack quorum, or there'll be natural acts of God where it would prevent us from acting within 45 days, so that needs to be included in there, because I don't want anything that you present, just to lapse because of things that, you know, the
No
board's
fault of.
tied, right? And then again, 12D, I think an MOU would be better. Okay, the insurance is actually on page 13, yeah, so we're gonna strike out your stuff. Page 14, end of the term of the lease, what I don't see here is that the lessee will be responsible to bring the property back to its original condition, which means that any, you know, environmental hazard or, you know, anything that, basically when you leave, you need to do your cleanup. So I don't know what the verbiage is gonna be there, but I don't see that in here.
What section is this? I think we got different pages.
Yeah, 14, page 14, section 19A, unless it's
19A.
stated somewhere else in the
Okay.
lease, I think that's really important in order to protect the property, because, you know, you'll be using the property for a very long period of time. And over that course of time, you know, given the kind of activities you'll be doing, oil spills, gas spills, et cetera, I just want to make sure that at the time that the property is hand over back to CLTC, that they're not gonna be responsible for any EPA, you know, violations and all of that. So I don't know how to say that, but that needs to be in here.
That was one of the first red lines. That was the as-is concern that we had, is that we wanted to make sure that the as-is is much different than 2023. We don't want to inherit anything that's happened, because so much has happened to that facility since then. We don't want to be responsible for that. And just to clarify that it's not in working condition, it has been seriously vandalized and looted.
So
and
I'm
whatnot.
not talking about the buildings, so the buildings are separate from the land, because, you know.
But just the land itself, if there has been any previous spills or anything like that, we just wanna make sure that the as-is condition, we're not responsible for anything that we didn't do as far as spills,
But how
whatever
about
it
there
may
being
be.
an inspection on the property and to determine whatever
Well,
is?
there's already a known defect on the property.
Which is,
The improper backfilling that was done
Backfilling.
by the
Yeah.
previous, let's
Yeah, if
say.
there's anything like that, we don't wanna be responsible, so if it requires just some understanding that, hey, this is how it is,
Pre-existing
we don't wanna be
conditions.
responsible
so
for
the
that.
pre-existing conditions, you can bring that up at the next,
But if you have
Work session.
anything
yeah,
that's more
put that in.
So
I'm
specific,
talking about when you leave,
We
I
talked
wanna make
about-
sure you don't,
we talked about an environmental study
okay,
prior to them occupying, so that,
okay.
at their cost, so that they can determine what the condition is when they acquire it, so that when it's returned to us, there's not an additional building construction materials dumping or asphalt or gravel dumping.
To what extent, what type of environmental study? Cause that would be very
I
expensive.
think it's a phase one.
Yeah,
Two
just the
of them,
phase,
Talked about a phase
yeah,
one.
the phase one is just to determine if there's
that's
any,
just surface.
like hazardous, yeah,
Surface review.
surface review. And then we expect when it's returned, that it should be about the same state as the phase one.
Okay.
Which means, you know, no oil, no gas, all of those kind of things.
Okay.
So-
I'll get a quote, see what that would
Yeah,
cost.
so you're gonna make sure that that's included, because you guys are gonna do a work session, right? So
That
that,
was what we talked about with, in our last,
so I don't see that
meeting.
here, I don't see anything about a and a pre-existing,
Let's go
okay.
back to this one.
Yeah, so, okay, well, he just wanted to know about this, so those, and then that's pretty much it. Oh, the other thing is the 45 days, the same thing with the sign, we have to be.
That was another thing, is that motorsports is very unique, so we're constantly changing
Yeah.
signs and sponsors and things like that. A lot of like the wayward and caution signs, they stay the same, but in order to stay compliant, we don't want to violate anything, because it's constantly changing. You may not have quorum, or
I
it may
think,
be a lot to go back and forth
are we only
constantly.
talking about permanent signs, not sponsorship signs? Sponsorship signs change, you know, every week, but I thought we're talking about permanent signs like bathroom, left, right, no people here,
I
caution.
think maybe we need to specify that if that's the
Yeah, if we
case.
Yeah.
can, that would be
Yeah,
great. in
permanent
this-
signs, but definitely not sponsorship signs, because that's gonna change event to event. That's what I see
It does.
happening, yeah.
But this is
And-
referring to annual signage plans submitted to Lesser for review. That's the original.
And
Language.
really, the sponsorship signs, there's already a sign law, there's a law that says it has to be this big and all of that, so we just follow that.
Okay, we can do that.
That was it.
That helps a lot. Thank you.
So, I guess I'll make the motion. Mr. Chair, I'd like to motion to, schedule another work session with GMA and CLTC to, review and finalize, the lease, for, final approval.
A subcommittee work session.
Subcommittee work session, yes.
I second.
Motion has been made and second. Are there any more discussions on the matter? If not, we go for a vote. All in favor say aye.
I,
Aye.
All opposed, nays. Is there no opposition? to the motion, it passes. We need to have our
Schedule
subcommittee
the
work
session.
session, and let's close this up.
Yes, sir. We wanna get this
Yes,
done.
we do too.
Really
But-
appreciate your
but-
time. We know you got
but
a lot to do.
Off
Things
the
to do.
subject, I have concern on the quarter mount. You know how it goes up like a ramp?
The drag strip?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. How it increases grade towards the end.
yeah. I
Okay.
mean, right now, I think it's only barrels that are used as barriers.
I think it's tough.
At the very, very end?
Yeah,
Correct. So we will have multiple stages of energy absorption and then a final barrier
Okay.
that's just not going to
yes,
move.
because your insurance will probably hit you on that anyhow.
That's one of our top focuses.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because that was a concern when I first set foot in that property.
Mhm.
It's very easy to go over the edge and fall down 80 feet.
Yeah, that was one of my big concerns too.
Well, let's get this done.
Yes, sir. Let's get it done.
And-
I'm here to help and get this thing done and let you guys get focused on.
It's been a long
Everything else
road,
you
but
do.
let's finalize.
Yeah.
I think
I'll
the
work
first time I
with,
went to this meeting was like May 2024.
Mhm.
I started attending these, so it's been a minute.
What I'd like to do is try to schedule something quickly. I'll work with Director Camacho. So that way, maybe we could have a final draft ready for approval in August. I mean,
Okay.
That's kind of,
Just a guesstimate.
hopefully we can work quickly, but I mean, ideally, we could get it done and, you know, you guys could move on and,
If you also and we also, we can target August.
yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
Mr.
luck.
Hans.
Thank you.
So we'll be in touch.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next on the agenda is constituent matters, Mark J. Wright.
Mr. Chair, we'll have non-agent free Jessica Dating present to the board. I'm not sure if anybody, is there anybody here for Mark Wright's?
Is the applicant online or is
No,
the
he's
app-
deceased. Well, yeah, he's deceased, but there's a request from,
To be named successor. I just also want to say that because Mr. Mark Wright is a December 2nd, 95 at 9:15, he's number 94. And according to 18 GAR 6A, 6A111, we are not able to move forward unless we process his application first. But because he's deceased, we're gonna have to name a successor. So, I don't know if you, this has been tabled before, and I just wanna let the board know or be aware that we have 50 others that are ready for mail out. Before we can move forward, we have to,
Okay.
handle Mr. Wright's case first, if that's, okay. Mr. Chair?
In reading it, it sounds like you guys support the approval of it. Is it-
Yes. So if you want to move forward with Mr. Wright's case?
shall we hear it and then see how the board
I think,
feels? And then,
I think it's already between, it's already before us. I make a motion to approve Kayla Arnes as the eligible beneficiary as supported by Guam Code annotated Chapter 20, Title 21, Chapter 75A, subsection 75A 101, subsection 1.
I'll second.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second, any discussions? If there are no more discussions, we go in for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Since there's no opposition, the motion passes.
I make a motion to approve Kayla J. Arnaz as the named successor and to take over Mark Wright's residential application as supported by Guam Code annotated Title 21, Chapter 75A, subsection 75A 109, subsection 3.
I'll second.
Any discussion on the? I'm sorry. I have a motion and a second. Before we move on for a vote, do we have any more discussion on the matter? If there be none, we go in for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Since there's no opposition, the motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
I would just like, Chairman, I would like to acknowledge some people in the galley and see if they're on the agenda and if we could move them up so we can address them next. Or are they here just for observation purposes?
Are you
Wherever
here
they
as an
are,
observer or you want to comment and
number are
public
they?
comment?
They, the last
Okay,
constituent matters.
so I would like to move number 3, Josephine Pangolin and Uggan up so we can hear their case as they are currently present, and then we can move back to the agenda.
Don't need a motion for that, right?
Do we need a motion for
I think you
that?
do.
Okay, I make that motion, sir. I
Wait.
make that motion, sir.
Wait, just a minute.
Sorry.
A motion has been made. Can I get a second, please?
I'll second.
Motion has been made and second. Any discussion on the motion? If not, we go and discuss Josephine Pangilinan Uggan's residential FC.
Okay, so, this is Mr. Michael Pangilinan again. He has power of attorney over Mrs. Josephine Uggan. But he's also here, I will just read the staff report. So beneficiary eligibility, approve Michael Pangilinan Uggan as an eligible beneficiary of the CHamoru Land Trust Commission pursuant to 21 GCA subsection 75A 101.2. And then the lease transfer, approve the residential lease of lot 26, block 10, tract 10121 GIGO from Josephine Pangilinan Uggan to Michael Pangilinan Uggan. And then building authorization, approve the request of Michael Pangilinan Uggan to apply for a building permit to the subject lot. So Josephine Pangilinan Uggan submitted a request to transfer her lease to her son Michael Pangilinan Uggan due to health-related inability to physically and financially comply with the lease terms. What that means is originally, this, in 2019, the board did vote for the application to be reverted back to agriculture. But for some reason, CLTC didn't act on it. We didn't move forward with changing the lease terms. So now, moving forward, there is the Public Law 37-131, which is clouded lease, so it's gonna stay at residential. But Ms. Uggan was not aware of that, so right now, Mr. Uggan is the one who is residing on the property. He's the one who's been taking care of the property, and I'm sorry, I forgot to pass these out. Just take one, and this is a picture of his home.
How big is the property?
It's almost 1 acre. It's 3,400 square meters. It's almost 1 acre. Or just about, pretty much, yes. But he's been taking care of the property. He also, in your packet, you should have a copy of his as-built building plan. Mr. Uggan is the one who put money into this property.
So
And
this building plan is this structure that we
yes,
see?
it's a as-built.
It's one of the stories where the building is up, but we did not bring to the board the building plans. And so we're kind of going backwards,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
And now he's gonna make this right by going to DPW. And actually, I do have to congratulate him because This is the first time we've seen
Yes.
an applicant come forward with actual as-bills. So
Okay.
it gives me some hope that, you know, this can be corrected when we do things right.
I make a motion for the following, three things. First, to approve Mr. Michael Pangolin and Uggan as an eligible beneficiary of the Chamorro Land Trust Commission pursuant to 21 GCA subsection 75A 101.2. Can I make three motions
Combine
at
it.
one time? Okay. I also, to include, to approve the residential lease transfer of Lot 26, Block 10, Tract 10121, Jigo, from Josephine Pangolin and Uggan to Michael Pangolin and Uggan, and furthermore, to approve the request of Michael Pangolin and Uggan to apply for a building permit on the subject lot.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, a motion has been made and second. Is there any more discussion on the matter? If not, we go in for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Since there's no opposition, the motion passes.
All
right, thank you guys very much.
Congratulations,
For being
Mr.
fair. Thank you.
Uggan.
Thank you.
Good luck in the permit.
Thank you. I mean, I waited like a year, so.
Welcome. We'll be in touch. So the next constituent matters, I don't see, Mr. Frank Cushing here.
Okay.
So it's up to the board if you want to move forward. This one has a lease, or you want to table it.
No, I don't think that we need the presence of the lessor.
Okay, okay. So,
Unless there's a conflict or, you know,
I think this one is,
yeah. I
clear.
don't,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
see,
we've gotten all the
yeah.
documentation.
Who were we going to discuss, Long Guerrero or Cabrera?
Yes.
Leon Guerrero.
Leon Guerrero. So, he is deceased, and, the matters is to approve Frank L.G. Cushing as an eligible beneficiary of the Chamorro Land Trust Commission pursuant to the provisions of 21 GCA, Chapter 75A, subsection 75A 101.2, and then approve Frank L.G. Cushing as the named successor to the agriculture lease previously held by the late Thomas Anderson Leon Guerrero. If I may, I know there's only two requests here, but because when we went to the property, my recommendation, or I'm asking the board if we can do a reduction on the property. There is no activity on the property, and Mr. Leon Guerrero recently passed away. There's no activity, there's no farming activity, there's a bunch of
So my
junk
first
vehicles.
question is, okay, we can prove him to be an eligible beneficiary, but the deceased, Mr. Leon Guerrero, was it his intention to have his nephew Frank Cushing take over the property?
Originally was his niece, but then we didn't, it wasn't approved as his successor because he ended up passing away.
Okay, so
But
what's
Ms.
the next?
Layla did do a notarized request to relinquish her successor claim because she wanted the next door property, her
Okay.
father's own property, because she's also a beneficiary to her father, so.
So it's Elizabeth Green is the one who's giving up her,
That
Right.
is Thomas Leon Guerrero's sister.
yeah, so that's my question, it's Elizabeth Green who's giving up the beneficiary rights.
Her claim because she is the sibling.
So
Yeah.
she's,
Yes.
So she's relinquishing it?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying,
And then in-
okay. And we have that in
Mr.
writing,
Cushing.
okay,
We also have Mr. Herbert.
yes.
Yes.
So then the next in line would be Mr. Cushing, Frank Cushing,
Yes.
so
okay.
you're saying that you wanted to reduce the size of the property? What's the size right now?
It's 1 acre,
Okay,
and there's no survey was done, and because of the non-compliance, you know, I'm asking the board if we can do a reduction of acreage from 1 acre to half acre.
Well, my question is, has Mr. Frank Cushing been informed of his non-compliance and the intention of the board to reduce from 1 to half acre? I don't want it to be a surprise to him.
Well, it was mentioned, due to the vehicles that are on the property, the white, the property actually has not been taken care of. So it was told to him that, in succession, if you're not in compliance, we will reduce the acre size. But he didn't agree to, he didn't say yes or no, so that's why I was hoping he would be here. But in that case, I could just remove it and then,
We can address
If
it.
Yeah, we can address it at a later time when you discuss it with him, because maybe he would like to keep the 1 acre and, you know,
Come into
maybe.
Give him
Yeah,
time.
he'll come into
But is the
compliance.
property being used as a junk?
I'm not saying that, but yes.
Who's in current
That's
control of the
what I
property?
guess.
It was Mr. Leon Guerrero, but he just recently passed
Okay.
away, yeah.
Yeah, so give Mr. Cushing the opportunity to use the 1 acre and come in compliance.
Now, if we do the reduction, are there cars in the other half acre? And who would be
No.
responsible for cleaning it?
Well, in order for us to before we transfer the lease, he must be the one, he's assuming the responsibility, because he has to be the one to come into compliance with the lease agreement.
Does
So
he have
it's
knowledge
him.
of that?
That's what I'm saying, I was hoping he would, he told me he was gonna be here, but he's not, so I guess we can put that part.
Oh, yeah, well,
That will actually come with the public law 37-131, come into remediation, so if he doesn't by a certain time,
Yeah.
yeah, then
then
we
we
can address
can
it then.
reduce it, yes, yeah.
Can I make a comment in that, you know, also in the lease contract, when it's up, is subject, the lease is up to 1 acre subject to survey.
Not
So-
more, yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to have 1 acre, because they haven't surveyed it. We recommend that I ask the board to reduce it to a half acre, since for over 20 years, nothing's been done to that property.
Does
So-
this-
But is Mr. Cushing also willing to farm the area?
Yeah, but see, the thing about it is, they had an opportunity for 20 years to do
Well,
that.
I think it's.
Now that he's taking over,
Yeah.
we always go back to compliance, what's happened to the property
Right.
right now.
Well, being that he's gonna be given, you know, he's gonna be taking it over, maybe we need to give him the benefit of the doubt to go on,
Okay,
give him the opportunity to clean. If he doesn't do it, then we can,
he has the
Well,
1
he
year
has
to
1
remediate.
year to,
Right.
to comply anyway, so.
right,
If not, then we can, put conditions that it will be reduced to a half acre.
right, yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Okay, so I'll just remove that and then we'll just, once the board approves the lease to Mr. Cushing, then we'll contact him and then we'll go from there in the compliance. The
Yes.
survey being the first thing to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I make a motion to approve Frank L.G. Cushing as an eligible beneficiary of the Chamorro Land Trust Commission pursuant to the provisions of 21 TCA, Chapter 75A, subsection 75A 101.2, and to approve Mr. Frank L.G. Cushing as the named successor to the agricultural lease previously held by the late Thomas Anderson Leon Guerrero.
And second.
Motion has been made and second. Is there any more discussion on the matter? There being none, we go in for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Since there's no opposition, the motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it for,
How about Annie Cabrera?
Cabrera.
oh, I'm so sorry. In regards to Annie Cabrera, we're requesting to just remove her.
Why?
Okay, so originally, she submitted all the documents to
It was an
approve her.
affidavit. It was an affidavit. And we were able to use her family tree to show how she actually qualifies. So it no longer needs to go to the board, I could do it at my level.
Okay.
Since
To
we-
claim her as an eligible
Yeah.
beneficiary.
Initially,
Okay.
it was an affidavit, but
Okay.
I think that just came through today or something.
Yes,
Okay.
it just came through. She just submitted all the documents.
How big is the
No action
property?
necessary.
How big is the property?
She does, her property is about 1 acre. It's about 1 acre.
Residential use?
It's actually agricultural.
But it's in residential here.
Annie?
Residential.
Okay.
It's an LUP, sir?
Huh?
This is an LUP?
Well, she's
Land use
been,
permit?
LUP since
Oh, that
1982,
one.
Yeah.
correct? and she's occupying the property,
Yeah, that's fine, okay.
and got a lease.
Does she have a building on the property?
Yes.
They're actually occupying there.
Hmm.
They're trying to lease it to.
So if we could just strike that from the agenda.
Make a motion to strike Annie B. Cabrera from the agenda.
I'll second.
A motion has been made and second. Do we have any discussions on the matter?
We're done.
If there's no further discussion, we're going for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Since there's no opposition, the motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, this concludes constituent matters.
Public comments? There being no public comments, our next meeting is going to be Thursday, August 20, 2026 at 1 p.m. CLTC Conference Room, Suite 223, ITC Building, 590 Submarine Corps Drive, Tamuning, Guam. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chair, I'll motion to adjourn.
I second.
A motion has been made and second. I don't think we have a discussion on this, so let's go in for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. There's no opposition. The motion carries.
Thank you.
This session of the CLTC board meeting is adjourned at 4:06 p.m., July 16, 2026.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Can I just get a rubber band?
Oh, no, here, I'll give you a clip. I'll give you a clip.
Let me get it for you.
Are you liking it?
David,
Gonna learn some new things.
what do they call him? Dave,
It's a lot of work here.
Law. Well, we need to do the sewage.
Thank you, guys. You did good work.
Thank you.